Good morning, mathematicians. For our first fluency activity, we are going to break apart numbers. We're going to use number bonds. Remember, on these number bonds, the total is at the top, and we're going to find all the different ways we can break apart numbers. So first, we're going to start with the number 5. So I have 5 up there. So I have 5 circles over here to help us think about how to break apart. So I'm going to use my line to separate the circles into 2 parts. So I started with 5 circles. If I put the line here, how many are on this side and how many are on this side? Did you say 0 and 5? You are correct. So now if I move our dividing line here, what 2 parts make up 5? Did you say 1 and 4? You are correct. If I move it over here, I have 2 parts. What are the 2 parts? Did you say 2 and 3? You are correct. Now, I could move the line here. What would the 2 parts be? 3 and 2. But this number bond, we can read it 5 is 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. So we're not going to make another number bond. We're just going to keep the 2 and 3 and the 3 and 2. I could again do the same thing over here. I could have 4 and 1. So this number bond, we can read it as 5 is 1 and 4 or 4 and 1. And also we could move it here. We could say 5 is 5 and 0. So we could read this 5 is 0 and 5 and 5 and 0. Okay, let's try our next number. We're going to take apart 6. Again, I have 6 circles. So let's try putting the line here. What 2 parts do you have? Did you say 0 and 6? You are correct. So now I'm going to move the line here. What 2 parts do I have? Did you say 1 and 5? You are right. Move it here. What 2 parts do we have? Did you say 2 and 4? You are correct. And then I move it here. What 2 parts? Did you say 3? Oops, I forgot the 3 there. Did you say 3 and 3? You are right. That is a doubles. And remember, we can read it 6 is 0 and 6 or 6 and 0. 6 is 1 and 5 or 5 and 1. 6 is 2 and 4 or 4 and 2. 6 is 3 and 3. And if you switch it, it's 3 and 3. So I'm going to go back down to 7. So now I have 7 circles, and I'm going to take apart 7. So I'm going to put my line here. See if we can go a little bit faster. It looks like my line does not want to work. So I'm going to draw another line here. It's not cooperating. So if I put my line here, what are the 2 numbers? Did you say 0 and 7? You are correct. So if I move my line here, what 2 parts do you see? You are right. 1 and 6. Okay, so I'm going to move my line again. Did you say 2 and 5? You are correct. And then if I put it here, what do you see? Did you say 3 and 4? You are correct. Remember, I can keep going. This would be 4 and 3. This would be 5 and 2, which is right here. This would be 6 and 1, which is right here. And if I put it here, it would be 7 and 0. Way to go. Let's try a number 8. I'm going to come down here. I have 8 circles. So what would my first combination be? Did you say 0 and 8? You are correct. My next one would be, if I put it here, it would be, oops, I see a mistake. It would be 1 and 7. So 1 and 7 would be the 2 parts. If I move my line here, I would have 2 and 6. So what will my parts be now? Did you say 3 and 5? You are correct. If I move it here, That's a doubles. You say 4 and 4. You are right. If I kept going, my 2 parts would be 5 and 3. If I went again, my parts would be 6 and 2. So here's 6 and 2. If I moved it again, it would be 7 and 1. So that's here. And then here would be 8 and 0, which is on that number bond. Okay, now we're going to break apart or decompose 9. So I started with 9 circles. What is my first parts? 9, decompose it into, did you say 0 and 9? You are right. What are my 2 parts now? Did you say 1 and 8? You are correct. Keep going. What do you see? Did you say 2 and 7? You are right. And I'm going to move my line again. And 2 parts do you see? Did you say 3 and 6? You are correct. And then I'm going to move my dividing line again. What do you see? You say 4 and 5. You are correct. And then I can keep going. Now I have 5 and 4, which would be this number bond. I have 6 and 3, which would be this number bond. 7 and 2, which would be this number bond. 8 and 1, which would be this number bond. And then 0 and 9. Okay, superstars, follow Mr. Davis's direction. You are going to actually practice this in your practice book. So Mr. Davis will tell you which page to tear out. Great job, superstars.